It's time for Life in the Fast Lane with Madison Morgan. Stay tuned now for relative, informative, timely, sometimes controversial and hot topics involving everyday life. In Madison's world, that would be Life in the Fast Lane. Your calls are welcome at 928-282-4154. Here's Madison Morgan.
Life in the Fast Lane.
Hello, everyone. This is Madison Morgan, and I'm here with Tom Tabak at KAZM.
How are you?
I am very good.
I just asked you, right?
Yeah, before?
Huh? No. That's what people say to me. I say, "How are you?" I say, "I'm terrific. Just ask me."
I don't get it.
In other words, I as far as I'm concerned, I'm terrific. You know, what matters is what other people think.
No, it doesn't. No, I do have several things I have to get off my chest.
Okay.
All right. You want the good or the bad?
Let's start with the bad and finish with the good. You know, like dessert.
Okay.
Okay. Don't you eat the peas first?
No, I don't eat the peas. You just slide them off; they roll.
You ignore the bad?
No, they'll roll over in the corner. Well, did you ever hear of grifters?
Oh, yeah. You remember the movie?
Yeah, I love that movie.
Okay.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Well, there are two grifters in this town. Not this town, but in this area, okay?
I'm not surprised because this is a place for people to, they funnel through here, people that take advantage of other people.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, they really did a number to some good friends of mine.
Oh.
So I'm just letting everyone on the alert. It's a man and a woman, and they have two horses.
Okay.
And they're in their 70s.
They have one horse for each of them?
Nah, I don't know.
But it's a man and a woman with two horses. So where do the horses come in? They live here?
Well, they've been living at different places,
Yeah.
and then trying to board horses, and then everybody's feeling sorry for them.
Okay.
But they've been, caught stealing, lying, all kinds of things, okay?
Okay.
And they won't admit it, and so I'm just saying everybody beware because where they are now, they're being thrown out, and I don't know where they're going.
Mm-hmm. They'll try to find another place.
Yeah, they're going to find somebody else.
Yeah.
They make up all kinds of stories, okay? Mm-hmm. Like, I was on the phone with the lady, and she told me Renee Zellweger is going in for a transgender sex change. I said, you are nuts.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. Listen, they don't even make sense. I mean, you can't try to make sense of someone like this. So I'm just letting everybody know, okay?
Okay, good idea. Very nice of you to do this.
I think so.
I wasn't aware. I'm glad you said something.
Because you know what? They're smooth talkers, and then you feel sorry for them, and then people take them in, and then they take advantage.
See, this is why I go to extremes to never feel sorry for anybody.
Well, some people just do. They can't help it. It's their good side.
Yeah. I do, with the exception of you. I feel sorry for you.
Well, don't feel sorry for me. I'm doing great.
I know. I threw you that softball so you could hit it back to me with a "don't feel sorry for me."
All right, feel sorry for me. What are you going to give me? There's no perks here. Where's the sugar? There's no sugar here.
Madison's all over me before we start the show because we ran out of sugar and she has to have sugar in her coffee.
Listen, there was no sugar last week.
Oh, you didn't say anything.
Because I'm nice.
Well, you should have said something, then we could have known we were out. You're the only one that uses it. See, that's the problem.
Forget about it. Anyway,
I thought we were all sweet enough anyhow that it wouldn't matter.
No. Trust me, that's not the case. I had some other bad things.
Yeah.
But I want to get to the good.
Okay, good.
Guess who's back in my life?
Are you talking about an old boyfriend?
Sorta.
Okay. So this would be somebody that you had
this is my favorite
a spiritual relationship with.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Okay, so now I'm to this is somebody you met last Friday.
No. I've known for quite a while.
Okay. I don't know.
Carlos.
Oh, Carlos the Goose is back in your life. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you had a spiritual relationship with him.
Oh, we did. So, he's so happy to see me.
I'll be darned.
Comes in the house. I'm feeding him food off of a fork. And he's staying right by me and everything. It's just so sweet.
That's cute.
He won't let me talk, okay?
Because he hated you to begin with.
No, he liked me, but then, he would try to, nip at me,
Love-hate relationship.
Yeah, but he quit doing that. Well, then, when I decided to leave, first I got him outside. He had to go all the way around the house, and he stood in front of my car.
Oh, he didn't want you to leave.
No. My friend Charlie had to get him away because he wouldn't let me leave.
You don't want to run him over?
No. He really loves me.
Could have been a Thanksgiving dinner right there.
No.
You're excited about this. That's cute.
I love this goose.
That just sounds strange.
Because I wish I could figure him out, and I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's being nice to you just to throw you a curveball.
Yeah, because he attacked Debbie twice.
His real mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
See, I'm his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So.
It's cute.
It's really nice.
It's nice.
Oh, and I really want to put a shout out to my dentist.
Okay.
David Harold in Cottonwood. If you call him, tell him Madison sent you.
Yeah.
So I can get a little bit off my bill. David Harold, he's the best. The best.
Okay.
I'm going to him Monday, so I might not be able to do Friday's
no, wait a
show.
minute. You haven't been to him yet?
No, I went yesterday.
Okay.
But he's so nice to me.
You're buttering him up.
I really like this guy,
Mm-hmm.
And everybody there is really nice to me. They know I don't like to get up early.
So what? They book you at 6 o'clock at night?
No, later in the day is much better for me. No, they're really great. David Harold in Cottonwood, and tell them Madison sent you.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to see if this works. I'm going to do it every week for 4 weeks.
Okay.
I know you hate this. Since I can't get anybody to advertise, I'm going to do my own advertising.
You want him to sponsor the show?
Huh?
You want him to sponsor the show?
Well, that would be nice.
Okay.
Well, maybe that could be my trade-off.
Yeah. Instead
of taking the money.
There you go.
All right, David Harold in Cottonwood.
You're liable to get a phone call after this show canceling your appointment.
No, they wouldn't do that. They like me a lot.
Good.
And I went and saw that movie Interstellar.
Oh, yeah, the new
Christopher Nolan movie.
Who's Christopher Nolan? Is he the director? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. I cried.
Really? It's that good? Or was it that bad?
No, it's really, really good, but it's so deep.
Interesting.
It really bothered me.
I've heard tons of good things about it, which kind of scares me because the critics like it too. And usually if they like something, I won't.
No, it's really good, but now I think Dumb and Dumber's taken over.
Well, yeah, it was number one last weekend.
I know. But you know what? Those guys look so old.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Yes.
Well, what does that say for the intelligence of the world here?
American
scary.
Society, it's scary, yeah. Now, I don't know. You know what would be interesting to see is it did number one in domestic box office, here in the United States.
Yeah, but things that work here don't work over there.
Exactly. It'd be interesting to see what happens in Europe. And for instance, you know who one of the biggest stars for the longest time now in Europe is?
Oh, don't say it. Don't.
Your favorite and mine.
Oh, don't even let.
Much bigger than here.
Don't even let it come over your lips.
He hasn't been a really, really big star here for a long, long time. I mean, in terms of top box office, except for The Expendables when it first came out.
Oh,
I didn't use his name.
I know it.
I don't want to go down that rocky road.
Ew. You just had to do it. He looks so bad now. He could have a facelift.
He's the guy, give him a break. He's 75 years old. He looks good for 75.
He's 75?
He's 70-something. I think he's 70.
Oh.
You didn't know that, did you?
Well, I know he's old.
Because you think he looks bad for 60.
No, I didn't even think about 70.
Yeah.
Oof. It's just creepy. It's creepy.
Says the fan of American Horror Story, The Freak Show.
Oh, that's the other thing. You know, listen, for 2 weeks they've been trying to get rid of Mama Pete. That's the little girl.
That's Mama Pete?
Yeah, that's what they call
She ought
her.
to be Baby Pete.
No, she's Mama Pete.
Okay.
I'm telling you, she's really, really little.
She's 21 inches tall. We looked that up. I think 21 inches tall is what we found.
She looks shorter on TV.
Yeah. Well, because TV takes height off of you and adds weight.
No, she didn't add weight to her. Well, they've been trying to kill her, this guy, and so finally this guy's blackmailing the strong man.
Okay.
At the freak show.
Who plays? I know Michael Chiklis is in this.
He's the strong man.
Is he the strong man? Okay, because he would look like he should be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, he pretends he brings her a dress, and she's so happy, and then she goes, I'll put it on. She has this really funny voice,
like a munchkin.
Yeah, way worse.
Yeah.
You hardly can recognize
high
anything.
pitch for a munchkin. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So she comes back and she goes, sit me. So then, she's used to everybody. She puts her arms out and everybody picks her up.
Yeah.
So he picked her up and he squeezed her to death.
So he did kill her?
Yes.
Oh, she's off the show.
Off.
No, that's terrible. See, I always think in terms of the actress.
In a huge glass tunnel thing and threw this water into preserve her and sold her to a freak museum.
Okay, so they put her in formaldehyde.
Oh, so sad. And you see her little arms go limp, her little legs quit kicking.
Oh man, see now the actress doesn't have any more paydays. I always think of that.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
I couldn't believe it. I was just hoping. I'm hoping it's a dream or something, but I don't think so.
Maybe she'll come back. It is a weird show.
Yeah, even Jessica Lange said, don't worry, there's more weird stuff coming. Right. I'm telling you, that show. Oh, and the strong man is really the lobster boy's father. So you find that out.
Oh, no kidding.
His whole family had lobster claws. And that guy, Michael Chiklis, is that his name? Chiklis?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jimmy, his son, inherited those.
Michael Chiklis doesn't have them, though, right?
No.
Okay.
He was going to kill Jimmy.
Yeah.
And just cut off his hands, and put it, in this museum.
Okay. Yeah, but that's his son.
Right. Well, he got a little soft touch.
Every time I see somebody die on the screen, that's not just people that are in one episode, but the people that have been stars or co-stars of a show. Every time I see that, all I can think of, and it's my background that does this to me, but all I can think of is that at some point in time they got the script for the next episode and they died in it. And sometimes they're not warned about that up front.
No.
Oh, man,
nice.
No more checks.
She needs the money.
Well, maybe she made enough to support her the rest of her life. That's easy to do in Hollywood. You just have to know what to do with it.
Oh, she's just so cute.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what if this is it for her on this show, it'd be interesting to see what she does, what's next in her life. You can follow up on that. Yeah,
maybe. But it's really hard to understand her.
You care so much. Yeah, maybe.
I don't think there's a lot of hope in that one. But that's this show this week. Now it's going to be off for 2 weeks because of Thanksgiving. So, I'm just going to have to watch all the shows I have taped so I can keep it fresh.
Okay, Sylvester Stallone is 68.
You had to look it up.
Well, I was curious myself.
I know he's lying.
So now does he look good for 68 or bad for 60? He looked good for 70, didn't he?
He looks terrible. I don't care if he's... whatever, he looks bad.
I don't know. It may be a lie. What I'm looking at also
He's
says
lying.
he's 5'10". It's a lie.
He's not 5'10". I'm 5'10" then.
No. Yeah, right. You're 4'10". You remind me of my grandmother.
Oh, stop it.
I'm serious. My grandmother on my dad's side of the family, she was under 5 foot.
I'm 5 foot.
And terrorized. Everybody was scared to death of her.
I'm 5 foot. And a half.
Nothing.
No, I have some. I grew a half inch.
When? The last year?
No, it's been a while.
Okay. So you're over 5 foot.
Yeah.
And that matters to you, I can tell.
Oh yeah. I used to try to make my brothers stretch my legs and my neck.
Did they have to ask, or did they have to be asked, or did they just want to do that?
No, I made them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they didn't.
Okay.
So today's show should be a very thrilling show with Dr. A.K.A. Jamie Turndorf.
Turndorf. And you're saying A.K.A. because she goes by Dr. Love. Is that right, Dr. Love?
Yes, Dr. Jamie Turndorf, also known as Dr. Love. You got it right.
Dr. Love.
So you're, what, a sex surrogate?
No.
See how he is? He's terrible, man.
Hey, I wanted to get that out of the way right away, okay?
You wanted to just put that out there.
I didn't even think about that.
Just get it off of people's minds
Well,
right now.
he's got sex on the brain. What can you say?
I'm a man. I'm a man.
Oh, God, you have.
He's a man.
Yeah. You know,
Okay, we're going to put it behind you, okay?
Okay.
All right, so Dr. Love, we're not talking to him, okay?
All right.
So give me an idea of what you do.
Well, I founded AskDrLove.com, the web's first relationship advice site, in 1995. And since then, I've been running continuously AskDrLove.com. I also have a syndicated radio show called AskDrLove.com. So it's all about relationships.
I don't know if I believe in love anymore.
Yeah, well, you've got to read Love Never Dies. This is my love story, my memoir.
Mm-hmm.
That's what is really the most amazing thing of all. For 27 years, I was married to the love of my life. And on our final vacation to Italy, he was stung by a bee. And he died.
In Italy?
In Italy, while we were on vacation, I watched him suffocate in front of my eyes. Now,
so he had an allergic reaction?
Yes, he did. And this is the most amazing thing. Now, mind you, here I am, a mainstream shrink, raised by 2 devout atheists. Now, for most of his life, my husband had been one of the most famous Jesuit priests. He actually taught at the Vatican. He founded the Liberation Theology movement designed to fight church oppression from within. He was a very famous Jesuit.
How could he be a Jesuit priest?
The Jesuit order and the priesthood.
Hang on. How could he be a Jesuit priest and be married?
Wait a minute, did I just tell you? You've got to listen, darling. This is very important. He left the Jesuit order and the priesthood.
Okay.
And he was recruited by Vassar College, where he was the chair of the Department of Sociology. Now, from the time I was a young girl, I had a detailed premonition of the man that I was going to marry. I saw him fleshed out. So I waited until he appeared. And on the first day of my freshman year, I'd been shut out of all intro sociology classes, and the secretary said, go ask the chair of the department, Jean Pain, if he can find a seat for you in one of the closed classes. I step into his office, and I have the first and only out-of-body experience I've ever experienced. I feel my soul shooting at high speed through a tunnel to the end of my life. Then it shoots back into my body, and I get this message, remember every aspect of this meeting, he will be everything to you one day. And I forget about it, go about my life as a college student at Vassar, and in the senior year, I need help with the statistical portion of my thesis. He wasn't my advisor, but I asked him if he'd help me because I had heard that, among other things, he had founded the Vatican's first and only social research center. So within a few weeks of working together, we fall madly in love. And we are together, inseparable, for 27 years, until the day that he is stung by the bee. Now, I am so shocked and so traumatized to have him ripped from me in this way. I go back to the hotel room, and I am lying on the bed, shaking and trembling, and I feel that man's hand stroke the entire length of my spine. And I sit bolt upright because I know what I felt. And I don't see anything or anybody, but he was there. And he has been with me ever since. And from that day on, he has produced the most amazing manifestations of his spirit presence, often in front of witnesses. And I tell these examples in Love Never Dies. Now, as a result of these experiences, I realized our relationships are not meant to end in death. And as a result, I've created a new grief therapy method that completely diverges from the Western approach, which is grieve, let go, and move on. Instead, my method shows you how to reconnect with loved ones in spirit, and then I go a step farther because I also know Western grief therapy gives us no way of making peace with the deceased. I bring my conflict resolution method, as presented in my first Hay House book, which is Kiss Your Fights Goodbye. I bring that to the world of after-death communication, and I show the bereaved how to not only reconnect, but how to make peace with dead loved ones, which is so vital because I don't know anybody who doesn't have unfinished business with someone who's passed, and that's Love Never Dies.
Yeah, but then
Yeah?
how do you get on with the life here? Because you're
Isn't
still...
that a wonderful question? Because everybody always asks that question. The idea, this is a very Western notion, oh, you've got to move on, you've got to let go. But the reality is, think about a mother, right? When we would never say to a mother when she has a child, well, you know you had one child, therefore you could never have another child because you only love this one child, you can't love another. Our hearts are made to love. We have so much room in our hearts to love those who walk the earth and those who are in spirit. We love everybody. It doesn't prevent us from continuing. And in fact, all my research shows that the more we reconnect, the more we feel the joy and the absolute healing of reconnection, we are more able to move on. We're not drowning in grief. We instantly transform our grief to joy, and we're able to move on with our lives and form new relationships and new love affairs. So it's an absolutely, the people calling me on Hay House Radio, I do a show there, Love Never Dies, people calling from all over the world weeping at how my new method is just absolutely instantly healing them.
It's so funny I'm talking to you. I have a very good friend of mine back in Jersey, and she called me the other night. We talked for 2 hours, and her husband died a year and 4 months ago.
Right.
And she just can't, she's so sad, And,
exactly.
Oh, my God.
Exactly. And it doesn't matter whether it's a husband. I mean, the bottom line is you need to reconnect. I had a woman come in. She was so bereft. Her daughter died in a car crash. And she used to be a devout Catholic. Now she's mad at God. She's mad at the universe. She's mad at her daughter. And I say to the woman, listen, if you let me help you reconnect to your daughter, you are not going to be mad anymore. You will transform this pain into the joy of reconnection. So she says, I don't believe in anything anymore. I don't believe in the afterlife anymore. All of a sudden, her daughter comes through loud and clear, and the daughter shows me a perfect set of white teeth. So I say to the mother, this is very odd, but your daughter is showing me this perfect set of white teeth. The mother bursts into tears, and she says to me, are you kidding me? In life, she had crooked black teeth. It was the only feature she was ashamed of. I said, well, in her spirit body, she's fixed. So she said, that's wild. The next week, the mother comes back. She's still pissed. It didn't fix her. And the next thing you know, her daughter comes through again, and she says, tell Mom about Padre Pio. So I say, your daughter says she wants to talk about Padre Pio. The mother leaps off the couch, lands in the middle of my office like she was shot out of a cannon. She says to me, why did you say Padre Pio? I said, your daughter said to say it. She said, she starts bawling her eyes out, and she says, I feel her now. And that began her reconnection. The pain just stopped, and I didn't see her anymore. She was good.
But see, once they go over,
yeah,
they have to work on their new existence.
Turns out that their full-time occupation is to love us. And once they enter spirit form, they now become our spirit guides. So we have a lot of earthly ideas that turn out to not be true, like now they don't want to be bothered by us, they have other things to do. They are here watching over us. As my husband said right after he left his body, death is an illusion. There's a very thin veil between the realm where you are and the realm where I am. The veil is thinner than you can ever imagine. I'm standing right here, and I'm holding your hand every minute until you return to me. He's always here, as are all the listeners' loved ones. They're watching over us. They're guiding us. They're supporting us through life's bumpy roads. They are helping us fulfill our spiritual lessons, and that's what they're there to do, to work with us and continue loving us and helping us fulfill our highest and most divine purpose on earth, which is to fully love ourselves and others. And they're helping us, and they can come through and love us in ways that they never could reach us when they were in a body. Their energy is so free to enter us now because they're not blocked by their bodily vessel.
Have you remarried or anything?
No, but I'm taking applications.
No.
I haven't met anybody yet, but I'm certainly open.
Well, that raises a question. When you establish new relationships like this, especially loving relationships, how do you handle the old relationship or the now changed relationship with your previous husband, now with maybe a future husband?
It's a great question, because the thing is, it would be no different really if a parent said, I have a child that I love and the child is now in a spirit body. Well, this is my love, and I have, many, many loves, some on the earth, some in the spirit plane. It doesn't prevent you from being present, because of course our goal is to be as present as possible. When we are grief-stricken and so devoured by pain, we're not present to the people in our lives now. So my method in Love Never Dies shows you how to really be present, because you're not all weighed down by grief. It's like the reconnection is so beautiful and the love is so strong, now you can go on about your life and really be present to loving others on this earth plane.
See, I need my friend to talk to you.
Oh, yeah.
She told me something, I didn't even know what to say. She said she wished one of her children would have died instead of him.
But I understand the deep, deep connection, but the beautiful thing that your friend has not... See, here, let me back up. I want to tell you something amazing, because remember now, I was raised by these two devout atheists, never went to church or synagogue, never read the Bible, nothing. And my husband and I didn't talk religion. I come back from Italy, right? My first night back, I'm lying in the bed, and I'm crying, I'm traumatized. And the next thing I know, I hear my husband quoting some passage to me. I know it's quoting something, but I don't know what it is. The next day, I go to the priest. I tell him, my husband's been speaking to me. The priest goes white. He crosses himself. He says, "Dear God, Jamie, at first I didn't believe Jean was speaking to you, but I do now. You are quoting an obscure biblical passage from the Communion of Saints." Like I would know? I never read the Bible. I never went to church. So it took me a year to understand why my husband chose to quote that passage to me. Well, he was a religious pioneer in life. He continues to be in the afterlife. And I discovered that the Communion of Saints says that our loved ones in spirit are one with or in communion with God and the saints. And since we're supposed to stay in communion and communication with God and the saints, my husband was showing me that the Bible is telling us we are supposed to stay in communication and communion with our loved ones in spirit because they're one with God and the saints. So he's saying to me, Jamie, what we've been told about the afterlife is dead wrong. Heaven is a state, not a place. Heaven's all around us. Heaven is here and now. So we need to reconnect. Now, your friend, because she has such a deep love connection, what she doesn't realize is she is going to find it easier to reconnect because love is the currency of connection. The stronger the bond, the easier it is to reconnect. She just never knew it was possible because everybody who's been raised in the Christian tradition is told, oh no, you got to wait till you die to be reunited with your loved ones in heaven. And so we're taught we have to live in this emotional wasteland separated from those we love. And that's not true. As my husband showed us, heaven is here and now. It's all around us. Reconnect now. So your friend is going to be in really good shape because she loves him. That's the currency of connection. And what she's going to find is her husband has been standing just outside the door of her heart, patiently waiting for her to unlock the door. And one of the great things about Love Never Dies is people, when they read my own examples and the stories also of my patients, they say, oh my gosh, I didn't know this was possible. And now I realize all these signs and all these messages have been coming through, but I didn't even see it because I didn't know it was possible. So just becoming aware of the signs is enough for most people to begin the reconnection. But then I also show you how you can help the communication by becoming more open, more receptive. I have really fun exercises in there that basically show you how to turn the channel in your brain to the spirit channel. Because the thing is, we all have the apparatus in our brain to communicate energetically with loved ones in spirit. And think about it, we're all communicating energetically all the time. You know, like you stop at a red light, right? And you look over at the neighboring driver in the next car, and doesn't that driver always look back at you because he or she feels the energetic frequency of your gaze? So that's an energetic communication. Twins just know the other one's in pain or in trouble from opposite ends of the world. Energetic communication. So we're doing it. We just haven't tuned our receivers very well. And so Love Never Dies shows you how to tap into this innate ability that we all have. You don't need a channeler or a medium or a psychic. We all have the ability, and I just show you how to tune up the receiver, and there it is. And you're communicating. And if you need to make peace, I show you how to just take it one step farther and dialogue until you heal.
Wow, I'm going to have to tell her to get this book.
Oh, yeah, and she can find me also, at AskDrLove.com, because I have a newsletter sign up, and when people sign up for the newsletter, they instantly get a free sample of Love Never Dies.
Oh, really?
And if she wants further help, she can come into my Love Club, where I actually bring Love Never Dies to life, and I work with people independently. Something so amazing happened last night, and you're the first people to hear about it. I was running a group, like a little in-person Love Club, and one of the women in my group lost her mother a month ago. This woman has hated her mother her whole life. The mother abused her, and she's stuck in hatred. And I said to the woman, listen, this is really hurting you that you are so angry at her. And she said, I will never forgive her, and I don't want to let go of my anger. And I said, I'm not telling you have to let go of your anger, but you have never once told your mother why you're angry and what she did. And now's the perfect opportunity to tell her. So I said, what's your resistance to doing it? She says, well, my mother was always a very weak psychologically, and I never wanted to hurt her. Even though I'm mad at her, I never wanted to hurt her. And I said, but check it out. She's in spirit form now. You're not going to hurt her. She's okay. She is able to see where she went wrong, and she is waiting to work it out with you. And in fact, I have a lot of examples of this, that the people who have wounded us in life see their mistakes and are desperately in need of us to confront them. Their spiritual development requires them to face what they did and make peace with us. So I say this to her, and I said, how about it? Let's dialogue. So she says, okay. We put her in a trance, and she starts to talk to her mother. She begins to weep. For the first time in her life, she comes out with all this anger that she never said, and then she hears her mother's response back. And I watch mountains of resentment just peel away, and she comes out of the experience, and she says, it's gone. I don't resent her anymore. I watched her instantly heal using my dialoguing with the departed technique. It was beautiful.
Wow.
So intense, so exciting. This is why I want everybody to know about this.
Wow.
I'm so passionate about this. You do not need to live in this wasteland, disconnected, and you don't need to carry unfinished business. And here's another thing that is so amazing. This is how I realized that loved ones in spirit know where they messed up. The week after my husband left his body, I went to the car repair shop. And my husband always did the car thing, so I walk in and I introduce myself and I say, Jean died. So the woman behind the counter says to me, I'm a widow too. My husband died a couple years ago. With that, her husband starts pounding down my door like he was waiting for a chance to get through to her, and he says, please tell her to stop making the same mistake that I made with our son. Now she's creating the power struggle just like I did. Now this blew my mind, because what he was showing me was, I see the mistakes I made. Now in spirit form I have a better perspective. So I say this to her. I don't know the woman from Adam or Eve, and I say this to her, and she starts to cry, and she says to me, That's exactly right. I am in a power struggle with my son. So then I realized, whoa, they get where they went wrong. Now, then how did I realize that they want to work it out with us? They want to help us heal it. They need to work it out. The first Good Friday, I feel led to go to this lady called Lainey. I don't know her, but she's a bird breeder, and she tried to help me save our pet bird who was very sick, and eventually we had to put him down. I walk in the door, and I see in the cage right near the door a bird that looks very, very sick. And she says to me, this little Gouldian finch has not eaten for 2 days, and they are so small, these Gouldians, if they don't eat for 2 days, they're dead. This bird will be dead by the end of the day. So I said to her, may I try to help your bird? And she said, yeah, sure. So I go over to the cage, and I lean my cheek against the bars, and normally a bird would freak out from that proximity. The bird didn't do anything. Now I start to speak to the bird, so I am now energetically communicating, but I say it out loud so she can hear. And I say to the bird, I want you to go down to your seed bowl right now and eat. And the bird goes down, and it eats. And he starts scarfing up seeds like a little vacuum, and the more the bird eats, the more the bird is getting energy. Now it's jumping around and flitting around. It's amazing. So the bird comes back on the perch, and now I see the bird starting to crane its neck like it's looking distressed. It's seeing something, and I realize the bird is sensing the presence of some spirit around her, and it's disturbing the bird. So I realize my eyes are now being pulled to a witching ball on the ceiling. And I look at it, and I can't understand, why am I being shown this witching ball? Did I give her this as a gift? So I ask her about it, and she says, I bought it for protection. At this moment, I hear her mother come through, and her mother says, I'm sorry I was such a weakling and I didn't protect you from him. Now, I don't know. I say this to her, and she says, that's exactly right. And my mother used to call herself a weakling. Next thing I know, I hear the father coming through, and he says, you don't need protection from me anymore. I can't hurt you, and all I need is for you to tell me what I did wrong and make me face how I mistreated you, and I beg you to do this. And right in front of my eyes, I encouraged her to talk to him, back and forth, and I watched her heal in front of my eyes.
Oh, wow.
I know, this is so incredible. And you understand, all of this, I mean, I was a mainstream shrink, but my husband in spirit led me to this whole new awakening. You know, it's absolutely amazing, and everybody is just worldwide just so healed, just instant healing, and it's just such a blessing, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
But you've been on a lot of shows, right? CNN,
yeah.
CBS.
And all over. I mean, because, you know, I was already known as Dr. Love and always on TV and my own radio show, but so I was the perfect spokesperson for this because everybody kind of knew me already, and wow, she's a very respected mainstream shrink, so that I am really a perfect person. You know, this was part of the pact. You know, right after he left his body, one of the first nights, I heard him say to me, you can't die, you can't give up. We have so much work left to do in our ministry. I'm holding your hand every minute until you return to me. And I said to him, ministry? What ministry? I'm an atheist, you know. But then it became revealed to me that it was all meant to be, that we were so connected, that our love connection brings this open channel. I'm obviously very open, and he's very spiritual. So it was all meant to be that he would channel this information to me so that I could bring it to everybody.
How long has he been gone?
He died in 2006. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, you were raised by atheists?
Yes.
Were you an
Devout atheist?
Were you an atheist, or did you develop a following for Christ?
Well, I will say that what I'm talking about is beyond religion, if you want, you know?
Well, I'm curious as to how you met your husband and how this relationship evolved, in as much as he was a Jesuit priest.
Well, the point is, like I said to you, we were both destined to find each other because I had a premonition when I was that young girl. I saw him, and I just waited. and we, instantly connected and were so devoted to each other. But our life together was, if you want, think about what is God. God is love. It's beyond any particular faith or denomination. We lived heaven now. We lived love. We didn't need religion. We didn't talk about religion. It was just beyond it, if you want. And right after he left his body, he said to me, we're all one family. We're all one religion. That religion is love.
Okay, so the question is, are you an atheist?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
I mean,
absolutely not.
Dr. Love, the best I can do is a goose.
Say that again?
I said the best I can do is a goose.
You're gonna have to explain that one.
Yeah, I have a goose that kind of has a little
Madison has friends with a pet goose, and the goose has a crush on her.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. Duck, goose.
But I want a real person.
You know what? The thing is, I have lots of really neat examples in Love Never Dies of how our loved ones in spirit communicate to us through what I call open vessels. Open vessels are animals because they're naturally open to spirit.
Oh, no.
The very young, the very old, the mentally disabled or physically disabled, the very sick. Anybody who's got the walls dissolved is more of an open vessel. And I have a lot of amazing examples of how he speaks to me through these open vessels. Can you believe that's a first? I didn't turn my cell phone off and it started to ring. Sorry about that. So, and then there are certain examples of humans who are open vessels. And here's one really wild one. Very early after he left his body, I said to him, Jean, my friend Anne is coming to take me to dinner tonight, and I always love to see her because she's so open. It feels as though you speak through her, and it's as if you're coming home to me. So a couple minutes later, she opens the front door and she says, honey, I'm home. And she claps her hand over her mouth like she's humiliated to make such a gauche joke. And I said, believe me, that wasn't a gauche joke. That was you speaking Jean's words because Jean was confirming he heard me say, you're coming home to me, and you repeated the words. So now we're at the dinner table. Now Anne is stoical. Her kid could be hit by a bus and she wouldn't shed a tear. Next thing I know, she starts to tear up, and she gets this dazed look on her face. And then she says, Jamie, you look so beautiful tonight. I wish I had a camera. Well, I was flabbergasted. This is what my husband used to say to me when we were out to dinner, but nobody ever heard it but me. And I looked at her and I said, Anne, do you know what you just said? And she blinked and she said, what did I say? So that's an example of a human open vessel. And this is happening all the time. Like right after Jean left his body, I'd be walking down the street. Somebody who didn't even know me, didn't know Jean, didn't know I was widowed. The person would just walk up to me and say, your husband said, tell our story. And the person would walk on.
Wow, this is just fascinating. I really want to read this book. I mean, our time is up. And
oh, I had such fun with you guys.
I know. I mean, I didn't, I'm still, I want a real guy, but I guess I'll keep the goose. You never know. It could be my mother.
The goose could lead to your gander. I mean,
oh, she's got it, doesn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, she should be here with us. Anyway, I want to say thank you very much, and I'm going to have my friend get a hold of you.
I would, and everybody, if you want to find out more, just come to AskDrLove.com, AskDrLove.com. You can get an excerpt of Love Never Dies. When you buy the book, I have a love sweepstakes that you're automatically entered to win. Listen to me on Hay House Radio Tuesdays, noon Eastern. Okay. You can call in and speak to me live. So, and I've just really enjoyed you both. You both are really beautiful people.
You're
very welcome. Yeah, it's been a real pleasure. All right.
Yeah, we had to go.
Yeah. She was fascinating.
I know. I wanted to say a few things, but she's on a roll, Yeah. And it's not a bad role.
She's passionate.
It's not a bad role.
Yeah. Okay. You're absolutely right.
Right.
All right. Now, by the way, I want you to know that there's a lot of famous people under 5 foot tall. We can get into this next week if you want.
Oh, you know what? I don't know how much longer I can take it.
Catch you next time.
You've been listening to Life in the Fast Lane with Madison Morgan. If you would like your topic discussed, email Madison K. Morgan at MSN.com. That's Madison K. Morgan at MSN.com. Tune in every Friday morning after the 11 o'clock news for Life in the Fast Lane with Madison Morgan, right here on AM 780 KAZM.